Hey y'all, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sierra. Today we're going to share our tips on weaving character backstories into the plot.
To start off, the best way to get your players involved with the plot of your D&D game is through the non-player characters, also known as NPCs. These are all the extra people in the world, from the tavern keeps, the children, down to the very monsters.
Make sure to give your players background on the world and any major NPCs in the game. This could be any background you've created or from one of the official D&D campaign books. By knowing more about the world, your players will then be able to have a better idea as to what they want in their character backstory. Give them as much creative liberty as you can.
Now, when we say give them some history on your world, I wouldn't give them a novel. Just a basic premise will suffice.
Encourage your players to have NPCs in their backstories that play a key role in their character's life. Then turn that around and give that NPC a key role in your plot.
For example, one of our friends played a tabaxi rogue. Basically, they're half human, half cat. She had a past lover in her backstory named Gideon. So our DM pulled Gideon into the limelight and made him one of the major problem-causing NPCs in that campaign. This instantly made our friend invested in that plotline because her character wanted to redeem Gideon from his past mistakes.
Where you have gaps in your plotline or an important NPC you just have a vague idea for, use the NPCs your players mention in their backstories. This will connect the dots and fill in that NPC you just can't come up with.
Your players will also become more invested in the plot as they encounter NPCs that are in their backstory. Another fun way to weave the players' backstories together is by taking an NPC from two or more of their backstories and making it into one person.
In one campaign, there was a mysterious NPC that wreaked havoc in each person's backstory. So I made these dastardly people all one bad guy the players collectively disliked. They slowly put together their connections and discovered the NPC was the main villain.
Combining these NPCs together and pulling them from the player backstories makes it a lot easier for you as the dungeon master to create these major NPCs. This helps you with fleshing out the NPCs' motives and seeing how far they're willing to go to achieve their goals.
Like all good stories, you'll want to keep a few secrets from your players. The anticipation of discovering the identity of the evil villain always keeps your players hooked.
Mystery and intrigue are key elements to the plot. Nobody enjoys hearing a spoiler. So be mindful of what information you give out to the players regarding your major NPCs.
Take key events from your players' backstories, such as a loved one being kidnapped or a village raided, and have similar events to those be repeated as part of the major plot. They'll follow the traces of those plots with more vigor.
By following these tips, you can bring the players' backstories into the adventure. This helps the players with feeling more connected and important to your world and the events happening within it.
Don't railroad your players! This means, as a DM, don't force your players to go where you want them to go. Give them leeway and freedom to interact with your world.
You want your players to actively chase the plot you've created, so make sure to personally invest their characters into the story in whatever ways you can.
Players love to discover more about their backstories, run into old rivals, and unearth how they are connected to the plot. It's also really fun to see their reactions as a DM when they figure out those secrets you've been hiding.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Put in the comments below the D&D questions you want answered.
And we'll see you next time. Subscribe.
Yeah.
And hit that bell icon. And hit that bell icon. Oh,
Get
yeah.
the beat.
Why do I do this to myself?
I don't know why we do this to ourselves. Subscribe.